Hello there. Today we're talking about skateboards, origin stories, Clayton's new pro model, as well as getting personal, getting to know my friend a little bit better. We talk some mental health stuff, activity, and ADHD. I hope you all enjoy. Incredible. Hello everyone. Welcome. This is like a crazy 50-something subscriber special for me.
Yeah, here we go. 50 subs.
52, I think. It's crazy to me that more than like 3 people are interested in this.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I love it. I would like to start this off with a land acknowledgement, because we are on the unceded territory of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam First Nations, and it's really important to know where we're at. I want to say a special thank you to my friend here, Clayton. Thank you so much for pulling up.
No worries. Thank you.
I think it's really cool, and I've been looking forward to this one for a little bit.
I'm excited.
Cool. So I just want to start this one off easy. How have you been today?
I'm pretty good. I just woke up and then I went to McDonald's and got a little bit of breakfast, and then I came here.
Amazing. Sounds like a pretty domestic morning.
Yeah, pretty normal morning in my world, for the weekend.
All right. What's your favorite McDonald's brekkie?
Oh, my favorite McDonald's brekkie. I gotta go with the egg BLT bagel combo.
Ooh, all right.
And
wait, they got bagels there?
Yeah, you get the bagel with the everything type bagel, and it just has the mayonnaise, the egg, the B, the L, the T. It's so good.
That sounds pretty bussin',
Yeah.
honestly. All right. Well, I'd love to start kind of where you started. At least as skateboarding is concerned. I'm curious what got you into downhill skateboarding.
What got me into downhill? Basically, probably there are like a lot of people in my school like already like doing like downhill skating sorta in grade 9, and a couple of my friends, and then I didn't really know what I wanted for my birthday one year, and then my parents were like, "Oh, like some of your friends are longboarding. Like, what about a longboard?" And then I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool." And then I started like researching. I was like researching a lot. I faked sick from school for a week to research my first board. And then I found like a video of this dude like bombing hill with like no helmet on like a land yacht spud. And then he just does like a giant pendy, and he's just like, "What's up? Like, this is the land yacht spud. It rules." And then he just continued down the hill. And then from there, I was just like, "Oh man, I think I'm gonna get a land yacht spud."
Shout out to the Spud.
Yeah.
I don't even what kind of skateboard is that?
It's like a really small, like, do you know the land yacht Switch?
Yeah.
It's just a small version of the Switch. It was 37 inches. So the next year it was called the Switch 37.
Okay.
And it was just like this red, like dipped graphic. And it was like so low to the ground.
It's
It
a
was
double
awesome.
drop, right?
Yeah. And then, no, it wasn't a double drop. It's just one drop. No drop through.
Okay.
But then, yeah, basically I learned to slide, and then, yeah, like from some dude at my school, and the rest was history.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Were there any people in particular or media that influenced you a lot when you were starting?
Media in the beginning. Okay, so I definitely say, yeah, so the no helmet dude for sure. No, but that was just like one video. But definitely like probably the first like inspiration was, I would say, Adam Colton.
Yeah.
From Loaded. Yeah, so his videos were like really sick. Like he just always had like trick tips, and just like he was like a really fun personality, and was always doing like really cool like he did like freestyle and downhill, right? So there'd be like a video of him skating tuna, and then a video of him like freestyling. Because when I first started, I wasn't necessarily just like into doing downhill. I was like, oh, this is cool. You can kind of do these skateboard style tricks and like hand flips and that sort of thing. So I thought he was really cool and entertaining to watch.
Shout out to Loaded. It seems like they've inspired pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, so yeah, Adam Colton, and then like maybe for like downhill, I definitely watched a lot of like Skatehouse Media stuff too. Like as I got a little more into downhill, so like Aaron from the Block and like Matt K, and then obviously like Louis Poloni, that sort of thing.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious kind of like where you'd go to skateboard progressed over the years. Like I know here there's so much variation, as well as like difficulty differences in skating from like local hills to like all the way to the BPs. Were you like seshing little hills locally and then moving to North Van and working your way up? Like, what did that look like for you?
I grew up in North Van, right? So
Okay.
the first place I went was like just like the street in front of my house. So I'd like push as hard as I could and like just do like a push up 180, stink bug, like that sort of thing. And then I remember I also learned like a 1 foot stale fish slide, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah, exactly. Puck down 180. And then from there, I remember like a week after I started skating, I just like pushed up into the hills. Like I just pushed up Delbrook, you know, Delbrook?
I think so, yeah.
So I lived like at the bottom of Delbrook basically, and I pushed up this big hill in North Vancouver. And then I just was like, okay, now I'm going to find a place that just like goes down, right? So then I found Norwood. Do you know the run Norwood? It's like the 246 bus run, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just found that, and I just like started going down that and just did like pendies all the way down. And yeah, that was like the first bus run I found. And honestly, that was probably the place where I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is fun that I can just go up here and then take the bus and then just go all the way down, and just like, it's like snowboarding, like where you take the lift up.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It was just super fun and new to me and cool.
No, that's great. I love North Van. It's such a cool place to skate.
Yeah, and then there was like Jones Avenue. That was like my big sesh spot. So that's on that run, but it's like such a mellow hill, such a like almost flat, right? And then that was just like the perfect place to like learn new slides, standees, and that sort of thing. But there was no shortage of hills in North Van, and a lot of people to skate with back then too. So
yeah,
it was really fun growing up there and learning.
Well, that's cool. I was gonna ask this later, but since you've already mentioned it, I'm curious what the scene was like back when you started, kind of how it's changed. Because I'd imagine when you started, there was kind of that big boom, and it died down, and now it's come back up in a little bit. So how have you seen it progress?
So I started in 2010, right? And as I said, there was like a lot of people at my high school who skated, tons of kids. Like there was probably like a group of like actually like 20 of us that would like meet up and like go skate the hills, right? And yeah, so it was super popular. And then I guess a lot of those guys kind of quit, and then that's when I went and I was like looking for people who were skating more often, right? So then I met like my friend like Holden and his brother Matt and Alex Charlson. And then Alex, when I first met him, he actually went to my school as well, but he was riding like this like board that was like a drop through board with like TKPs and like reflex zigzags. And so it was like the most chattery board ever, so chattery. And he was like, I don't know, he was just like, you could tell that he was like good, right? Because he was doing all these no complies and like technical tricks, but his board was just so bad like that he couldn't hold out a slide, right? So when he got a new board, he just like absolutely like exploded. I remember I went away for 2 weeks, and then he'd probably had his new board for like 2 weeks at that point, like before I left. And then when I came back, I was just like, oh my God, he's better than me.
All it took was one little trip.
Yeah, seriously. He was so good. And then, so I skated with those guys for like a long time. And then Holden and Matt kind of quit, and I met Sam Randall. You know Sam Randall?
Not particularly.
Okay, but those guys quit. They were really good too. They were like as good as Alex, or like they would be so good if they skated today still. And then they quit, and then we kind of moved over to like meet like the guys from like White Rock. Do you know like Andy G?
I've heard the name.
Yeah, Andy G, and then his friend Ty Guimond, and then
I know
we skated with those guys. You know Ty?
Oh, not personally, but I've seen him.
Yeah. We skated with those guys a lot, and then those guys quit. And basically that's like how it is. Everybody would quit, and then you find new people, and then those guys quit, and then but I just keep skating. But yeah, so basically recently though, it's really, there's been a huge uptick. There was a couple of years there where it was like really lean, and then it was basically, well, I skipped over this part, but then I started skating with like Dexter and like Matt and Cam a lot, like the Ontario guys, and we go to Britannia a lot. But like during that time, it was basically like just us pretty much.
Like a pretty thin crew.
Yeah. And then there would be like sometimes kids and BPs, and yeah, it would just be it was just really lean for a while, and then recently there's just been a huge uptick of like people skating a lot, and it's really good to see.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to like see a lot of like new Groms out there and that sort of thing.
No, that's awesome.
There's been a lot more like younger kids skating too, right?
For sure. The Groms nowadays are unreal.
Yeah, seriously. Oh yeah, Mateo, like
Shout out to the CEO of Groms.
that kid got so good so fast.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, I remember actually another thing. I saw him cruising down BPs. He was just like foot braking down BPs. And I had like an extra board in my car, and he was just like riding some random board, and I pulled over and I was like, "Hey, kid, do you want this board?" And then I just like gave it to him, and then I saw him like a couple months later, and I was just like, "Holy crap, this kid is so good now." It was awesome to see.
He's insane. And Miles as well.
Oh yeah, Miles too.
Miles is on some shit.
I don't know him as well, but yeah, I've definitely seen recently he's gotten super good as well. Dude, that kid makes sick boards too. For homemade boards, it's like
Bro, they're
unbelievable.
unreal.
It's unbelievable what he can do.
Me and Sam made some homemade boards, but Miles, like, we can't even touch that, bro.
Doesn't he do like homemade like holotech?
Yeah,
and that sort of thing? Wow.
bro. In our old high school wood shop, he'd like router out old skateboards and like press fiberglass into them and stuff.
Yeah.
He like CNCs his own molds and shit. It's
That's
awesome.
crazy. I might have to like tell Land Yachts. So
Bro,
we can
get
send
him
a
hired.
cease and desist.
No, he used to work for Land Yachts. I
Did he
think.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
but just like doing packaging with Aiden.
So are you in this? Wait, are you the same age as him? Or no. Right?
So I'm the same age as Sam. I
Okay,
just
that's what I thought.
turned 20 last year. I'll be 21 this year, but November. So I'm a young man for my
Cool,
years. But I don't know. Actually, one thing that really surprised me. I don't know if this is accurate, but I saw you were 22 years old.
Not accurate.
Not accurate.
I'm
Land Yachts is
25.
lying to me. I was like,
No.
that's wrong.
So they made that profile like just when I got on Land Yachts.
Okay.
So I've been on for like 3 years now. on
Really?
Land Yachts, yeah.
Whoa, that's fast.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know, right?
Crazy how time flies.
Yeah. There's a bunch of other companies before that, but
Yeah. I have some questions about that too.
cool.
So I guess I do have a few more questions about your old scenes, but since we've brought it up, I'm curious kind of what the process of getting sponsored was like for you, because I know you have had many sponsors in the past.
Yeah, man.
It's like, how does it go down? Does like someone just reach out to you? It's like, hey, do you want to skate for us?
At the beginning, like definitely not. I was just like would like film like a video and then send it to every single brand I could think of and write the same email and just change the name every single time. You just send it to everybody. You just want to get sponsored, you're just like, you're really young and like stoked and you just want to get some free stuff, right? But I think so my first actual sponsor would have been Longboard Larry from Portland. Do you know that brand?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so Longboard Larry is my first brand. And actually Misha Chandler from Flatspot
Shout out.
was the first guy. He got me on there. He recommended me to them.
Okay.
And then I got on there and they made some really sick boards. They had like this board called the Chupacabra that I rode for a really long time.
The goat sucker.
Yeah, it was the goat sucker. It was a really good board, and shout out to them.
That's cool.
Yeah, but so basically I just sent a bunch of videos, never worked. And then I just got a recommendation from Misha.
And that works.
That's what happened, yeah.
Misha's the plug, I guess.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
what other companies have you been sponsored by over the years? You got picked up by Larry. You where did you go from there?
From Larry, I went to Rain Wheels. I was riding for Rain Longboards, like wheel company. They were trying to do like a side thing. And then eventually the opportunity came for me to just like ride Rain boards, because Larry, it was like they made great boards and I was stoked on them, but they were really hard to contact. They were far away, right? So it was just like I couldn't get the boards that I needed. Like my board was like starting to like delam and that sort of thing, and I really needed a new one.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get one. So I thought it just made sense to just ride for Rain. And then I rode for them for a long time. I went probably like 5 years or something like that.
Oh wow, that's quite a
4
long
years.
time.
I don't know, something like that. And they were great to me. And then after that, there was like a brief stint like riding for Quebec, and then I didn't really like the board that much. So, and then Dexter like kind of brought up the opportunity that I could ride for Land Yachts if I wanted. and that he put in a good word for me. So I jumped on that as quickly as possible, and that was the best decision I think I've made.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Landy
great
makes
to me.
some cool stuff.
Yeah, they're awesome.
The one thing I was curious about was your experiences with trucks. I know you used to ride Eras, as well as a company that I don't know how to pronounce, L-Life.
Oh, iLife.
iLife.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious as to how those compare with what you're currently skating, and kind of your experiences with.
Yeah, so I rode Eras. That was kind of just like the holy grail of truck, you know what I mean? When I was growing up. So I remember I saved up like birthday money and bought a set of K4s one year. Yeah. And those were great trucks, but then how I kind of got on like iLife, Zach Mills Goodwin from Australia. Have you ever heard of that guy?
I've heard the name. Again, I've heard a lot of names, but I don't know them too well.
Anyways, he's a really good skater and like a really awesome dude, and he got me on iLife, right?
Okay.
So they sent me a set of trucks, and they were like gold, and they had like these huge holes in them. They looked really cool. And honestly, they were awesome trucks.
Yeah.
But the same sort of thing, the owner, Bill iLife, he lived in Hawaii. So it was that whole like supply chain and like not being able to get trucks because I stripped an axle and like my wheel kept falling off. I kept rethreading it and the wheel would fall off, right? But he's
so
just
dangerous.
like, yeah, we're going to make new trucks. Like I'm sending them to you. And I couldn't get them. And I just ended up having to like ride like Valkyrie trucks for a bit. And those were good. But yeah, I would have loved to like keep riding for iLife like at that point. But I just couldn't get the trucks, so it was just difficult, right? But they were really good, and how they compare to my trucks that I'm riding now, I can say that like Bear slaloms, they made like the biggest difference like racing. They were like the biggest like revelation for me of like any piece of gear. Like they actually made me like a better skater. I find the edge of grip is just like so much more precise, and also just it could just be the small board too, but I just noticed like such a huge difference in grip and just like the ability to like change your turn like in the middle of a line. Do you know what I mean? So you could adjust and like adapt so much more through a corner.
It's that little board feeling.
Yeah,
and the big splits too, right?
I think so, yeah. And it's just crazy. I never really rode splits before those.
Yeah?
It's just crazy how narrow they are, but how freaking stable they are as well.
No,
it's unbelievable.
They seem cool. I mean, all the people I skate with any consistency, which is basically none, are on little boards at this point. And I get it.
Yeah.
Even though I don't skate that.
Honestly, I didn't ride I rode Sims for like such a long time racing. If anybody out there is racing on Sims, just try a big split. Like it makes such a huge difference. I know, I've told him a million times. But honestly, I don't even think it matters what he rides because
he's just too good.
He's just gonna win. He's so good.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. He has all the talent.
It's really impressive. Damn, my questions are all out of order now. So I guess one thing I'm curious about is your experience skating Sims and splits, because I guess you were skating Sims for the longest time. Would you still skate symmetrical setups just for free ride or putting around, or are you kind of changed to that big split life?
So for free ride, I definitely still ride Sims. I got 45-degree split Kodiaks or 45-degree symmetrical Kodiaks with 90A bushing board side and 87 roadside. And I think that yeah, you just want to be able to go switch when you're free riding. And like if you go switch on like split degree trucks, some people can do it, but for me, I get speed wobbles going like 10 kilometers an hour on split degree trucks.
It's
I can go
forklift operating.
Yeah, exactly. I can go for like 1 second switch. You know what I mean? But as soon as I ride like more than like 10 feet switch, I'm going to just start like freaking wobbling all over the place.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
The one person who really impresses me with that is Aiden.
Yeah.
He's so good at that. Like he'll go switch on like his 30-degree different splits or whatever, like 50 something in the front, 20 something in the back, and just go big straight line, do a massive toe side 180 and just keep going. It's crazy.
Does he do that? He can go really fast switch on those trucks?
Totally.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Bro,
I need
nuts.
to talk to him about that. Get some tips.
He's a certified forklift operator.
Seriously. I'll turn from the back.
Yeah. It's I don't know how he does it.
I have my forklift license.
Do you?
I actually do. Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. I really want to learn how to drive a forklift. I got the offer to learn at some point at my work, but I don't think it would be legal forklift operating.
What do you do for work?
I manufacture fertilizer.
Oh, cool. Wow.
It's a silly job.
That's cool though.
Yeah. My dad went away to take care of my grandma when she was sick last year, the year before, whenever that was. And I'm basically, there was no one to work at my work. And so he was like, hey, boss, you should hire my son.
There you go.
So I just showed up one day and he was like, get to work.
Cool.
And I've been working there ever since. It's a great place. I love my boss. Cool guy. Shout out to you, Joe, by the way, if you're watching this.
Hey, Joe.
He actually does watch these. It's crazy.
Hello, Joe.
But
give him a promotion.
I don't know if that works, but
Assistant
we'll see.
manager. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just joking around. So one thing I'm always curious about is kind of what keeps you coming back to downhill. I feel like it's such a extreme sport in a way. Like people get very injured. I'm sure that's happened to you. But you know, for some people, they just keep coming back. Like most of the people you skated with over the years have just stopped. Like what keeps you coming back?
Yeah, a lot of people have stopped, but yeah, I think a lot of that is just kind of getting like caught up like in life and when you're in school and like partying and that sort of thing. There's a lot of other things to like draw you out of it, right? But I've always kind of just found like the coolest people, I think, like in the scene, and I think that's like one of the main things that has kept me coming back. And as well as that, I don't know what it is, but I just love it. It's just something that I've never gotten tired of. And yeah, I really don't know what it is. But for example, though, if I don't skate for like 2 or 3 weeks, you know, I'll notice myself to start to get maybe like really anxious or something like that. And I'm just like, you know what? I need to skate. Like throughout the winter, it gets kind of tough. I've actually been injured a little bit this winter, and that's why I haven't been skating. I had like a knee problem. I don't know what it is, just like overuse. I went to the doctor. I'm going to physio now.
Physio's pretty good.
It's getting better. Well,
that's good to hear.
I've been skating a lot now, so that's been good. But other than that, though, man, I've been very lucky with injuries. I've never, like, knock on wood, I've never broken like a bone or anything like that, and I've been really lucky in that way. So, yeah, I don't know what it is that keeps me coming back, but it's something.
I mean, you love it.
It's got that X factor. I don't know what it is, but it has it.
That's fair. Yeah. No, injuries suck. I'm very much the same way. I have some questions about this a bit later, but like for me, I get very gray when I can't do the things I like doing. Like I love climbing. I love being active, running around. So whenever I can't do it, I just get very gray after a few weeks. It's like, oh, I need to move.
No, that's totally it. Like I just start to feel like numb or something like that.
No,
I just need to do it. And I think I associate like a lot of my identity with it probably too. You know what I mean? Like I am like a downhill skater or longboarder or whatever you want to call it. That's just kind of something that I've been doing since I was for like 11 years now. It's just been like a lot of my life just like doing this one thing. So
yeah, I mean, it's treated you well. You've gotten sponsors and you got to do something you love. You get to travel around for it. So
yeah, exactly.
I get that. That's actually something I'm always curious about asking longboarders. Do you have a preference between longboarding or downhill skating? Do you think it makes a difference to you?
I don't know. Like, are you asking if there's a difference between it or if it's just like what I want to call it?
What do you want to call it?
So I think the better descriptor, like to like maybe someone who doesn't know exactly what we're doing, is like downhill skateboarding, right? Because we use like the short boards, and we use shorter boards now, and it's like clearly like the point of it is going downhill fast, right? But I don't know. I also think that there's a lot of people who just like don't want to call it longboarding too. So I have no problem calling it longboarding, but there are a lot of people who are like in longboard denial. You know, they're just like, oh, I'm not
a longboarder.
I do skateboarding. I'm downhill skateboarder. But when I started, man, it was longboarding, and I'll never have a problem like calling it that.
Fair. So
you know?
it goes both ways, but at least for me, I prefer downhill skateboarding.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a more general term, but the one thing it's like I tell people, oh, I downhill skateboard, and they're like, oh, you skateboard? I'm like, it's kind of different.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, because it gets a little bit confusing. But I think it is a great description of it as well, where it's just like mostly you're just bombing hills, right? It's downhill skateboarding. And they're short now, the shorter boards. So.
It's not really a longboard.
Not really a longboard. Like, longboarding is more cruising, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the skateboard you skate, I believe you have like a small blind and an obsidian, stuff like that. The land yachts, more performance boards. Those are smaller than regular skateboards.
Yeah.
You could call it downhill shortboarding.
Yeah, exactly. I think the small blind is 32. And I have a new board I've been working on.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's actually my pro model.
No way.
Yeah, it's coming out in 2 weeks.
No way. That's so exciting.
Yeah, so March 1st.
Oh my God.
It's going to be called the, get your checkbooks ready.
Get it.
Well, I guess nobody uses them anymore, but you know, get your credit cards, get your Cash App ready, get your Venmo and your Visa card and your toonies.
Loonies.
Yeah. No, but yeah, so we've been working on that for like a couple months. And well, not a couple months. It's been like a year now.
Whoa.
And we've had probably like 8 different prototypes.
That's crazy.
The whole thing has just been like kind of like getting the construction down, because I want it to be available for people who like want to get into the sport and like do free riding and downhill, and like I want it to be as stiff as possible while being like a reasonable price. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So all these carbon boards are like really expensive. They're like $300-$400, right? It's
pretty big hit on the wallet if that's the price of a regular complete that's not made of carbon. Yeah,
exactly. So what we did, we got like, it started out with 7 plies and 1 piece of fiberglass, and what it's come to now is 8 plies, 1 piece of fiberglass, and then like carbon stringers on the inside. So it's like, it's really stiff. And I think it works great as like a downhill board and a free ride board. I made it to like bridge the gap between like downhill and free ride, because that's like I do both those things, right? Mm-hmm. So I have one that's set up for free ride and one that's set up for downhill with my splits. But I ride like the same wheelbase kind of on both of them, and I don't know. It's a really comfortable board.
That's so cool.
I love it.
Are you okay with going into it a little bit?
Yeah, I actually have it in my car.
No way.
If you want to cut it, and I can just go grab it and show you. I don't know.
Well, maybe we can do that after.
Okay, sure.
Because we are rolling.
Okay, cool.
It's easier for me to not cut this and then cut something in after than to, like,
I got
find it, cut it.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, but that would be so cool. I would love to talk about the specs.
Yeah, so it's 34 inches long, and then it's like, I think 21 to 23 inch wheelbase.
Okay.
And then it's 8.46 in the back and 8.7 in the front, I think. So it's got like a slight bit of taper, and yeah, it's designed to be rode with like 150 to 160 mil free ride trucks with like easy hogs.
Yeah.
And then designed to ride with like 120 mil trucks
and big wheels,
which are like Smokies, and then Cheetahs.
All right.
So it fits like perfectly with both of those things. So that's what I mean where it's like perfect for downhill, perfect for free ride. So
it's kind of that
do both those
golden
things.
width.
Yeah, and I've gotten like with people riding it and like trying it out so far, I've gotten a lot of people like saying that they really like it. And
that's
like,
cool.
The like most standout thing is like a lot of people said it's like they felt at home right away on it. Like it was like easy to ride right away.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of boards like kind of take some getting used to.
For sure. I'm curious, what's the concave like? Like, did you use any molds that Land Yachts has? Did you kind of mess around with stuff?
No, it's a completely new mold actually. But so we took parts of like certain boards and like made a new mold. So we got like the concave of the small blind.
Okay.
So it's like really mellow with like a slight bit of W.
So that's like the 9 to 5 concave, but just cut down, right?
Yeah, exactly. 925 mold. Yeah. So then we have like a flat drop in the back.
Okay.
And then like a round drop in the front. So it's like the wolf shark drop in the front.
Yeah.
Where it's like kind of wide. But the thing about it is you can kind of get your foot like up on top of the drop in the front, so that you get like more leverage on your front toes. So it's like better for turning. And then you have your foot like dropped into the drop your heel dropped into the heel side edge of the board, so it's like less leverage on your heel and like more leverage on your toe.
Yeah.
Which is typically what you want for like skating downhill.
And I guess with a narrower board, you get a lot more overhang with your heel, so you don't need nearly as much leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas on your toe side edge, you really got to like press down, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I put a lot of thought into like every single kind of part that I wanted to design of it, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
bro, congratulations.
Yeah, it's
that's
awesome.
really exciting.
I'm stoked on it. It's gonna be called the Blaze.
The Blaze.
Landyacht's Blaze.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I'll try and film it, and we can maybe cut in the video
Sure.
over us talking.
That sounds good.
That would be so cool. I would love that. It'll get me to do some video editing, which I don't usually do.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, I guess. Wait, let me just run through this real quickly. Sorry, I'm a little disgruntled. We've been out of order.
I'm sorry.
No,
I've been going off on too many tangents.
No, I love it. I love it. No need to apologize.
Taking all your questions away.
Not taking them away. We're just like skipping ahead to like places that I've planned out. So
okay,
the
cool.
last question I have on this page is about the homies actually. The homie skate. I'm curious as gotta represent. I'm curious as to how that came about. Kind of like who was involved starting it, who like joined in later, and how that evolved over the years.
Man, so it started out Andy G originally made like a YouTube channel called Team Ratchet. And then after like probably like a year or two of that, well, there was a lot of dudes involved in it at first. Like there's so many to name, right? But then after about a year of that or two of that, it like the name Ratchet kind of just like aged a little bit. So then we decided to change the name to Team Mate, which is like way worse. And from that, we were just like, that was probably like 3 months of that. And then we're like, this is ridiculous. And then when spring came around, we're like, okay, we're going to be the homies skate media, because we're all a bunch of homies and we all skate together all the time. And then we filmed like a sort of like intro video for like everybody who was involved. So yeah, then we made that. And yeah, I don't know. There's so many people to name. I'd love to name them all. Like Show, Alex, David Dabick, Josh McEachran, Alex Gibson, Griffin Gravel, Ty Gillingham, Will Smallwood, like all these guys. I don't know. It's hard to name them all, but I'm trying, you know?
Yeah. It's a lot of people. I guess a lot of people were involved in making it happen, but I feel like it's very like core Vancouver skate media.
Absolutely. But unfortunately, a lot of like the same thing where a lot of these guys have moved on now, right? I think the only guys left are like me, Alex, and Ty, and then Jake was like a later addition. Yeah. Right? He came on later, and Alex Gibson. Actually, he made like a comeback.
I remember
this summer, and like he's dabbled in it a little bit throughout the years, but I think like he's like kind of back for good now.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great to see him back out skating.
I remember I pulled up to the session where Jake, Oliver, and Anthony were filming the edit in what was it? In Capitol Hill. It's like
you were there for that?
Yeah. And it was like the first day Gibby was back skating like a big rain deck and like old Otangs, and I was like, no way, this guy's back. Like I had no idea who he was.
That video, The Forgotten Method.
Exactly.
Right? Dude, that video is unbelievable. I think it deserves more views, man. Everything they're doing in that video, everything they're doing is like a never before done trick. There's like probably like 20 tricks that are like never done before. Also, shout out to Anthony and Oliver. I forgot to name you guys, but you guys are super important and awesome people.
And I remember at the end he does like a 1080 or whatever, the spin jump. I don't know what it's called, but it was like a never done before, and they're just like,
I don't even know.
No one even cared.
There was probably like he could have done a 1260. Anything. I don't even know. He could have done a cork, you know?
He jumped and his skateboard spun around way more times than it should have.
Yeah, seriously. That was Anthony, right?
Yeah, it was Anthony.
At the end. Yeah, I think it was like 540 shove or something.
Yeah,
like
it was ridiculous.
Big spin, maybe. I don't even know. It's crazy. But those guys, honestly, I think Anthony Kong, he's like probably the most talented skater ever.
Yeah?
Honestly, I think so. Yeah, he's so good. I don't know how he does the things that he does.
He's ridiculous. And
it's just, I don't even know how he's so good. The things that he does. He can do anything, honestly.
I know, it's crazy. I've seen him like do like ridiculous spins like a Beyblade down a hill, and then just like mob Giant's head on the same tiny double kick.
Yeah, exactly. He tech slides on soft wheels.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's so good.
Maybe it's just because he's so light.
Could be, yeah.
He just like floats over the pavement.
Yeah, he can jump extremely high too.
It's impressive. I mean, homie is freaking strong too. He's an athlete.
Oh yeah, he's jacked. He's absolutely jacked.
It's pretty awesome. But okay, I think one more skating-ish question. So this is something I'm always curious about, is kind of the mindset difference between racing and freeride. So how does that like differ for you if you're going up somewhere to race versus just like pulling up to like do some fun slides down a hill?
Free riding is just like really chill. It's my favorite thing. Like it's just relax. It's always like you do what you do on a whim, and you kind of just like improvise as you go down the hill, and it's really relaxed. Racing, I don't know. It's makes me so nervous. Like when you're there at the top of the hill and you're about to drop in, like I just get so anxious. I feel like I could just throw up. And sometimes when I'm up there, I'm like, man, why am I even doing this to myself? Like I'm up there. Why am I here? But then like once you go down the hill and you get that kind of like release of anxiety and you're at the bottom, and if you do well, then it's just even better. And it all makes it worth it in the end. But the mindset, I think, is with racing is a lot more serious, and free riding is a lot more just like about just chilling and having fun with your friends.
All right. So if you could only either race or free ride, what would you choose?
Definitely free ride.
Fair.
Definitely free ride. That's my favorite thing in skating.
That's fair. I know some people are super competitive in it to win it, but I feel like skating has so many like different avenues in which you can explore it.
Yeah, exactly. Racing is more just like, I don't know. It's just something that it was more like all my friends are doing it kind of thing. And then I was just like, okay, I guess I'm going to race too.
Yeah.
And then here I still am just racing. But it's super fun though, man. It's worth it. I love the places that it takes you as well. It's like really awesome to be able to travel and skate and that sort of thing.
Well, I've got lots of questions about that, but before we get into that, I would love to take a step away from skateboarding a little bit and just get to know you a bit better. This is one of my favorite things about getting to do this, is I get to kind of poke questions at people.
Cool.
Of course, I've told you this, but if there's anything you don't want to answer or don't talk about, just don't. You can say like, don't want to talk about it, move on, whatever.
Sounds good.
But I love getting to know how people got to where they were. I think it's fascinating because life is so strange, but hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to what you were like as a kid. How are your attitudes, your personality? Do you think you've changed a lot over the years? And did you have any like childhood dreams or goals that just like totally whack or out there and you're just here totally unexpected?
As a kid, I was like kind of like insane, like in the classroom. Like I was really wild in certain years, I guess. Maybe when I was like really young, I was like a little bit more reserved. And then, but specifically, I just remember like grade 6 getting sent out to the hallway like every day, pretty much, like for just like calling out like stupid answers, like on purpose. I don't know. I was just like kind of like a bit of a class clown, I guess, like in that grade, and like I guess kind of through high school as well. Not as bad. I settled down a little bit, but that was kind of like the peak, I guess. Grade 6, I was really like, I don't know, just a derelict, I guess, a young derelict. And yeah, I was really crazy at that age. But I think as I've gotten older and got out of high school and that sort of thing, I think it was maybe just being in that like really rigid environment that maybe like made me act out a little bit. I don't know, but I've definitely settled down a lot more, and I think I'm probably like more of an introvert now than I was back then.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird how you change like growing up, right? You really change a lot throughout the years. Like sometimes I wonder like if I like how different I am like compared to back then, and just like reflect on it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about.
I love thinking about it because I feel like in a way we don't change at all, but also everything changes.
Yeah. Were you like that at all? Like, were you a crazy kid or anything like that?
Yeah. So, I have ADHD.
Me too.
And, as a little kid, I was completely unhinged.
Yeah.
Like up until I think grade 6 or mid-grade 6, I was such a big distraction. I would just scream in the middle of class. I got sent to the office all the time.
Wow.
Classic. And then when grade 6 hit, I got really quiet. I just started reading books all the time.
Interesting.
It was like my hyper fixation. I would just read.
You refocused on something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a bit of a rough time. I wasn't feeling the best, and books, fantasy novels were kind of my escape. So that calmed me down for a while, and then in high school, maybe like grade 10 is kind of when I got out of that, starting to like make friends and socialize with people. So I went from very extroverted to very introverted to like kind of extroverted again.
Yeah, we're similar in that way because I also have ADHD. Like I used to take like medication for it and stuff like that. So actually reflecting on that, that's probably could be why I was like acting out so much in grade 6, but
Definitely.
I don't know. Yeah.
That would do it. Well, I mean, the reason they give kids the medication is so that they don't act out.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I think that I started taking that in grade 9, and I guess like for a couple of years I was like a little more relaxed, and then I stopped taking it in grade 12, and yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like I was a little crazier in class.
Actually, I'm really curious what your experience with ADHD medication is, because I'm considering trying it. I never have before. But just with school, right now I'm in post-secondary and I'm always floundering a little bit.
I took like Vyvanse. I took that for like probably, from about grade 9 till like grade 12, right? And when I went back to school for post-secondary as well, I started taking it again. And honestly, it really helped. Like, I don't know how I would do without it. It's honestly, I just have trouble like actually doing the work when I'm in class. I'll like do other things, you know what I mean? Go on my phone, research just like anything, like why the sky is blue or something. Just like wondering anything else, right?
Take a week off school to find your perfect setup.
Yeah, exactly. Take a week off school to find the Lendout spud. And yeah, it really helps for that. But honestly, I really don't like the way that it makes you feel outside of school and like that sort of thing. It makes you feel really like a shell of yourself, and you're like really in your head. You're focused on like things that you're thinking about, and you might be absent. You might seem absent to other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I noticed about it. I noticed like I was a lot more withdrawn.
Okay.
When I took it.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of why I haven't done it in the past. But it's something I'm curious to do just because I feel like it would help my school, which I think is important. But I don't want to feel like a shell. I don't want to feel great.
No.
I think it's a hard middle to find.
If you're like, basically, so I go to school because I'm in trades, right? So I go to school with an apprenticeship. I go for 5 weeks, right? So I don't mind taking it for just like 5 weeks and then just like coming off of it after. And then I'm fine again. But it's, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. If you're like really having a hard time and it's like a short-term thing, then I would take it, but I don't know. I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm just saying I take it.
It's obviously just personal experience
for short terms.
I'm not here to get a doctor's recommendation.
No, I am not a doctor.
But actually, I am really curious about this as well. But what do you do for work, and what did you study? What are you studying?
Yeah, so I'm like a new build, like construction plumber.
Okay.
So I put in like pipe systems, and I do like drainage systems, water supply systems, and I also do like boilers. That's like what I find the most interesting, like heating.
Okay.
So I think that's like the most interesting part of my job. You do a lot of soldering, like copper pipes together, and like figuring out also troubleshooting is like interesting as well, trying to figure out what's going on. Like, yeah, I like that part of it, but yeah, I like it. It's fun stuff. It's work, you know.
Definitely.
I kind of just chose something, right? Because I don't know if I would have been able to do the whole university thing, because it's like it's such a long, intense thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I do well in like short spurts. I can focus my attention for like really well for 5 weeks, right? And do really well in the class. But then, and it was the same thing in high school, right? I do really well in the first term, and then I do really bad in the second term and third term. I get like 80s and 90s first term, and then I'd just get like 60%, 50% in the final 2 terms.
No, I get that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wasn't sure if it would be right for me, so
that's fair.
That's why I chose that.
I was very much considering going into the trades for a long time, but I don't know. Somehow I was convinced sciences was a good move.
Do you like it? How close are you to being done?
Embarrassingly, I don't really know. I think by the end of this year I'll have a degree, like some sort of undergraduate degree in kinesiology, but that's not even what I want to do. I would love to study neuroscience because I think it's really interesting.
Oh, that is really cool.
But I don't know. It's just because I really hyperfixated on podcasts about it for like a few months, and now I'm like, this should be
On
my
neuroscience?
future. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. If you find something that's like super interesting to you, then you're not going to have a problem like focusing on it because you're going to do it in your spare time.
I know.
Right? And I think that was my problem. Like I didn't really find anything that really drew me in that made me want to study like all the time. And I think that's why I just chose like a trade because I knew I couldn't do it unless I was like really passionate about it.
Yeah.
For a long period of time. So
I think the one thing with ADHD though, if you find like something that's physical or like trades work, it's really a lot easier, I think, just to like focus in on like something physical, manual, moving your body, working through problems instead of just like sitting down and staring at books and papers and trying
absolutely
insert things into your brain because that doesn't work very well.
Although it is kind of bad sometimes when you're like outside and it's like raining and that sort of thing. That's when I'm like, oh man, I should look for a job like just working in a shipping department or something like that. That's what I used to do. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes like that gets you like pretty bummed, but other than that, I like it.
I actually have two friends that are doing trades for electricians, doing like wiring up buildings, running conduit and like concrete and stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like very hard work, waking up early, going to a job site in the rain, in the cold, in the winter. It's like, oh, that sounds difficult.
Yeah, that's what's really tough as well, waking up really early, but you're also off really early, right?
That's true. You get a little bit of freedom.
In the summer, it's really nice. I'll be off at like 3:30. Then I can just go skate.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
No, I like it. And I'm a bit of a night owl, at least most of the time. Except somehow my sleep schedule's gotten better. I think it's thanks to this new relationship I'm in, which is cool.
Cool.
But
congrats.
Thanks. It's always fun. But yeah, no, I'm usually very bad at waking up early, so I don't know how I would fare at that.
Yeah. Get used to it.
That's true. I guess it's something you do get used to.
Yeah.
One thing I'm also always curious about is if you weren't doing downhill skateboarding, what do you think you'd be doing? Are there any other sports or hobbies you enjoy?
I don't know. I'd probably just chill at home. I don't know. Probably just game like a lot. I'd probably be into like some other video games or something like that. Maybe I used to do like mountain biking when I was younger. So
yeah.
before
Going
skating.
down hills.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So maybe I'd still be mountain biking. I don't know. Something like that. I'd probably figure something else out. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'd like go on long walks or something. I don't know. Also, I see you're into rock climbing. Like that's something that is pretty interesting to me. I've been to the Hive a few times.
Yeah, it's good fun.
And yeah, that's fun. Like I think that would be fun. I don't know about I think bouldering's fun. I don't know about those big high walls.
The ropes
scares me a little bit. But.
Well, the funny thing is it's way safer, but I just don't like the endurance aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not much of an endurance athlete. I mean, it depends on the types of endurance. I can go into it, but no, I like bouldering because it's more strength and like problem solving.
Yeah, I like that idea. Like, I'm not necessarily like an adrenaline junkie. Like when I started skating, I started so incrementally, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started on a flat hill, and then I was like, I'm not like the most gnarly dude. Like I kind of just need to get really used to hills. So for example, when I'm racing, if I'm on like a hill that I'm like comfortable on, then I feel really good, you know. But some hills, like you get there and they're like really gnarly and it takes some time to get used to. And that can be like a disadvantage for me because I need some time. I need like more time to get used to a hill than other people, I feel like.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like the comfort avails you a lot though.
What's that?
Or it gives you a lot to be comfortable in that situation.
Oh yeah.
Especially when most people aren't. Taking a bit of extra time to feel good when you're about to like push in with a bunch of other people, I think it makes a difference.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so that's what I mean though with the rock climbing thing. That's why I'm a little bit scared of that. Like I couldn't imagine being on like a super high wall, like the Chief or something like that, and you just like look back and you just
exposure.
You just see all these ants down there that are cars.
It would be fun. I don't know. I've never climbed up the Chief, but it's something I plan on doing someday.
Cool.
But I don't know. I'm a big boulder. I don't go more than like 4 meters up.
Cool. Yeah. No, I definitely appreciate that stuff though. I don't
fun.
know how people do it.
No, it's awesome. Some people will do that with like no ropes or on just like placing gear.
Oh yeah, I know.
Which is terrifying.
That movie
to me.
Free Solo, right?
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alex. That guy's pretty crazy.
Alex Honnold.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too is he's been to the Hive before. Apparently he was super chill.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like you have to teach people how to fall. Like the first time you went, they showed you how to fall and everything. And since it was his first time at the gym, we had to teach him how to fall.
You met him?
Oh, I never met him, but I used to work there. So I said
got you.
we as in staff. I wish that would be cool. But so yeah, the staff there, they showed him how to fall, and he was really appreciative. He was like, okay, now I know how to fall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love chill people like that. But anyway, I do have some questions about just like being active. How and as you mentioned before, when you skate or you don't skate, it can kind of make you feel gray. Is there any other things you find that can help like mitigate that if you're feeling like you can't go out and skate? Are there some things that can help you out to feel better?
Yeah, I think just like spending time with like people that you love and that sort of thing, that always makes you feel good. And I don't know, like maybe just I don't know, just keeping your mind occupied. I always try to do something, right? Like I'm someone who's always like moving. Like I don't really spend a lot of time just like hanging out at home really. Like I always want to just at least like go out, like maybe to like Main Street or Commercial, walk around, check out some shops, that sort of thing. So that's kind of something that just getting out of the house and just like doing anything.
Keeping yourself busy? Exactly.
Yeah, that makes me feel good. Keeps my keeps grayness at bay, you know?
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I find that being inactive is a very hard state to be in. Like just doing nothing is so difficult.
No, sometimes it's nice though. Like I like to stay home and game once in a while, just all day, just waste my day. Like if I'm really tired from work the week before or something like that, right?
Do you have any favorite video games? What have you been playing recently?
Honestly, like I do this thing where I basically just only play like NHL.
Yeah.
And I just do like GM mode and I just like build teams and just like do simulations of these teams.
What's GM?
Like a general manager.
Okay.
So you just like build your team and then you just kind of do that. I also played like FIFA a lot. And you play like FIFA Ultimate Team. I don't know if you know what that is.
I know the game, but I've never played it.
It's the same sort of thing. You build a team and you play people online.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have to like open like you have to like buy players like with the coins that you earn and that sort of thing.
Use your in-game currency.
Yeah, and you try to build like the fastest team and that sort of thing, and just like pwn noobs.
Is it multiplayer or does it just like generate teams to play against?
Oh no, it's multiplayer.
Okay.
Not the NHL one though.
But the FIFA.
That's why it's extra weird because it's just like I'm playing against a computer all day.
Does this come out of a fan Does this come out of being a fan for sports or just out of like liking the games?
FIFA, I'm not like such a huge fan of like soccer or anything like that, football, whatever you want to call it. But NHL, like hockey, I've definitely always been a fan, like since I was a kid.
Okay.
That sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's another thing I guess I'm pretty interested in. I keep track of all the players and teams and like who's doing well.
That's fair.
Who's overpaid, who's underpaid, that sort of thing.
I always think it's cool. I heard recently the Canucks have been on a big winning streak.
Yeah, they went on a big winning streak with like the new coach, Bruce Boudreau. I think they won 8 or 9 games in a row.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I still think that they're going to end up kind of like rebuilding the team a little bit. They're going to have to take a step back to take a step forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To actually win a championship. Because the old guy, the old GM, Jim Benning, he was just trying to like just make the playoffs, you know?
Was just trying to like get that little victory.
Yeah, and he got fired. And now we got a guy, Jim Rutherford. He's trying to win a cup. So that's what we want, you know? That's the ultimate goal.
Hopefully no riots this time.
Yeah, no, exactly. Hopefully none.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what your worst injury has been from downhill skateboarding.
My worst injury. Okay, there's 2 I can think of. One was like when I was like a Grom. I was really young, right? So I wasn't even driving a car yet. I was like probably grade 10. And I came around a corner and I confused which lanes. I came around the corner in the left lane.
Oh, no.
And there was a car and I just swerved right around it. And then I hit like a curb and below it there was like an embankment. and there was a bunch of like hedges and trees and stuff. So I hit the curb and I just launched into the hedges and then just like fell down into this concrete embankment. And I smacked my ankle like really badly. And I don't know what it was. I never went to the hospital for it or anything. But I went to my friend's mom, who was like a nurse, and she said I probably just have like a bone chip. And I just like basically couldn't skate for like 4 weeks, that sort of thing. Because it would like swell up really bad. I probably fractured it.
Oh my
realistically, God. I probably fractured it, right? Because it would just like swell up, and then I just I couldn't like walk or anything. I remember trying to go too early, and my mom had to come pick me up because it was just like throbbing, you know?
Jeez.
And then that probably went away in like 4 weeks or something. And then another time I was like, okay, I'm going to go like really chill down this run when we were in Victoria. And then people went behind me, and then I like look behind me and people are just tucking. And then I'm like, oh God. And I like kind of panicked a little bit, and I just like pendied. It was like a hill I'd never skated before, and it was really steep. First run. And I just pendied into a ditch, and I just like,
oh no.
I just pendied into a ditch, and I just hit my like lower back, your sacrum. I hit my sacrum on like just like a rock in the ditch. And then I was just like kind of like limping around for a little bit. Damn. Oh, and then another time actually, I hit a rock tucking around a corner, also hit my sacrum on a curb. I just like landed right on the curb, and then I freaking cut my arm really bad.
Oh, that's a
in Port Moody.
So your sacrum is the bit of your spine that's fused together that joins with your hips.
Yeah.
So if it's like hip area,
yeah,
lower
exactly.
back?
It was
okay,
like lower
yeah,
back, like my hips. Like, so I basically like hit like part of it, and it was just like really badly bruised. So that's why it was like difficult to walk too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would imagine that's pretty painful.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I mean, cool. I don't know if that's the right word for it.
Pretty fun.
Pretty good times. I mean, that's the joy of downhill skateboarding.
Yeah, exactly. The thrill of it all.
The best part. Well, I mean, if it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be all that excitement.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. You like, even though I would say I'm not like an adrenaline junkie, also riding out of sketchy situations, there's like nothing like that.
Oh,
With
it's
your friends,
a crazy
right?
feeling.
There's nothing like that. Like knowing that you came so close to like hurting yourself or something like that, but you all made it out and everything's all good.
Or just like having a crazy wobble coming out of a slide or something and just standing up and not having fallen. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. So I don't go out like necessarily searching for those situations, but when they happen, it's always like, it always really like wakes you up, you know what I mean? And it's really exhilarating. So
Makes you feel alive.
makes you feel alive.
For real. All right. I think the last personal-ish question I have is just about sobriety, I guess. Most downhill skateboarders I know are the type of people to like polish off a 6-pack or 9 beers in a night, or chain smoke cigarettes,
Okay.
do a bit of coke for fun, or shoot up some morphine. God only knows.
Whoa.
Do a bit of ket.
Wow.
You know, some people are into some crazy shit, and no, not a lot of moderation. I think that's part of like the extreme nature of the sport, seeking it out.
Probably.
So I'm curious, kind of like what your mentality around it has been. Not being someone who really like abuses drugs.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like the high risk behavior sort of thing, right? You're seeking out like high risk. I guess that kind of goes with how I'm saying like I'm not necessarily an adrenaline junkie as well, right? I don't know, man. Like I used to smoke weed when I was younger, like in high school and that sort of thing. But then I just kind of started noticing it was just like something that made me more anxious. And then I'd like keep doing it. And then like after some time, I would just be thinking like, oh man, like why did I even smoke weed? I'm just like so anxious now. I'm just like thinking about everything I'm doing. Look at like a bowl of chips on the table or something. And then like, you're like, man, I'm really hungry, but like, I don't want to like reach for these chips in like a weird way. You know what I mean?
Way too deep.
So you're just like, I don't know, you know? And then, yeah, I guess I sort of got sick of that feeling. I just didn't want to be in my head so much and like overthinking everything. So yeah, I don't really like to do that sort of thing. I like to drink though. It's fun, especially at like skate events, like when you're like meeting up with people that you haven't seen in a long time. It's definitely fun to like have a couple drinks and enjoy your time. I wouldn't say that I'm not like a big drinker or anything. Or I wouldn't say that I am a big drinker or anything, but I like to at skate events, and I won't like hold back or anything like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I mean, I don't know. I guess the main thing I'm wondering about is just moderation, because especially for people with ADHD, it's certainly something I've struggled with.
Yeah.
Moderation doesn't come easy.
No, yeah, I think moderation's important, and there's probably been times where I've like gotten a little bit too crazy, and I just don't want to be like that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like that feeling of just like, maybe if someone was like, oh, you were so hammered yesterday. I don't know. I just don't like to like come off that way. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. It's a tough thing, but I respect it a lot. I think it's a great mentality to have, a great way to be. So good for you.
Thank you.
All right.
No shame to anybody who does like to do that sort of thing either.
Of course. But I don't know. At least me, it's something I've struggled with in the past, and so I'm always like curious as to how people deal with it, find moderation, because I think that there's nothing wrong with drugs, but when it's a problem, it's a problem. So you gotta find the healthy middle ground for yourself.
Yeah, totally.
And you know, some people, it's not a problem if they smoke weed every day and that's what they want to do. Fucking do it. But
yeah, that's what I mean as well. Like, there's some people who smoke weed every single day and it's like no problem. Like they can do their normal tasks, go to work, that sort of thing. Right?
Totally.
But for me, it's just like, if I were to do that, I don't know, like, it would not be good. Yeah. I would just be, I don't know. I would just be probably sitting down at work, you know?
A little out of it.
Yeah.
No, I get it. So yeah, it's interesting. I want to move into some stories now.
Cool.
I have some stories. I heard, I don't even know what this is, but someone recommended I ask you a story with the PT Cruiser.
The PT Cruiser. So that's going to be my board graphic. It's going to have the PT Cruiser that I had when I was 17. It was a black PT Cruiser with flames on it.
Yeah?
Yeah. So my parents got that car in like 2002. And then they gave it to me when I turned 17. So that would have been probably like 2015, 2014.
Okay.
When I got my N. And which I still have after all these years. I still haven't gone and got my full
I don't even have my N.
After all these years. So it's like always a running joke that I can only take like one person in my car. I really got to go do it. I just procrastinate, right? Yeah, so it had flames on it, and man, it would just overheat everywhere. It was just a car that caused me a lot of problems, like driving up the cut in North Van. I remember specifically one time, and it just started smoking, and I just pulled over. And also it broke down one time on Hastings and Burrard downtown, like in the middle of the intersection.
Oh no.
Yeah, but luckily they were filming a movie on the side street, so I was able to pull into like a side street and just kind of like leave my car there till BCAA could tow me away. But yeah, this car, it's just kind of legendary, I guess, because it was just like, I'd take it up to like British properties, right? Heady spot in Vancouver. Cops would come all the time. And it was just like so obviously like a skate car. Had freaking flames on it and like longboard stickers on the back window. So I'd park my car like on the run or something if I was doing bus runs. And I mean, like, obviously it was like just probably like so obvious to any bylaw or police officer that people were skating runs.
I doubt they would recognize like skate stickers.
No, probably
They're not that deep.
Probably not. I don't know, man. It's been a battle for years though with these bylaw and police officers.
Yeah, I've heard it's getting better though.
No, definitely. Well, apparently a few weeks ago there was like a roadblock set up in the middle of the run.
Really?
Yeah.
For skaters or
yeah. There's a bunch of, I think Finn told me about that. That there was like a bunch of just like cop cars like blocking the road. Whoa. And then they like pulled everyone over. Damn. And told them to leave.
That's intense.
Yeah. But there's been many times over the years as well with like heat, like cops come, and then we would just like run away and like hide in the bushes. I haven't done that since I turned 18 though, so I was just like a little kid running from the police. I didn't want to get charged. I didn't want to be on my record, not be able to go to other countries, that sort of thing, you know?
What was your crime? I skateboarded.
Yeah, exactly.
Skateboarding's not a crime. Actually, wait, skateboarding is a crime. Why is it in the Olympics?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Frick.
But do you have any favorite cop stories? Any fun runaways?
Well, I can think about one. There's just been a lot of times, man. Like in White Rock, I remember one time this bylaw like came, and he's just like, "Hey guys, you can't be." And then just like we all just like threw out down our boards and just like ran away, just skated away, like skated past him, and then he's just like standing there and just like watching us go by, like. just like he totally had given up. And then I guess like there's been many times, but I guess another time we got caught was like we saw a cop up ahead, right? And then we all stopped, and then we hid in this person's driveway behind some bushes. And then he pulled over a bunch of other skaters, and we were hiding there for like 40 minutes with like, it was like me, Pepe Laporte. You know that guy from Brazil? He was here as an exchange student. Really good skater. He's like one of the best in the world at racing.
Whoa.
But he just randomly came here as an exchange student when
That's
he was
awesome.
a Grom. And Keenan McCartney, and I think Alex was there too. We're all hiding behind this bush. And then this cop ticketed all these people. And then when he moved his car, we realized he was going to see us when he came around the corner. So we ran to this other bush, but he heard us just like sprint to this other bush because he's parked on the other side of the hedge.
Oh, so he's like right next to you.
Yeah, exactly. And then he just came over and he's just like, okay, guys, come here. I'm giving you tickets. But he didn't charge us with like anything besides that. We just got a $35 fine. So
That's pretty
not
reasonable.
too bad. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it's not very reasonable, but
I mean, it's not like the biggest deterrent. Well, I'm not gonna say anymore. I don't want them to raise the fines or anything like that.
it's the entry fee. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Entry fee to BPs.
Yeah. So the other thing I would love to hear about is travels, because I understand you've been around a little bit to skateboard or just
Yep.
to travel. Where have you been? Like any I guess now just where have you been?
Yeah, I've been to quite a few places. I did like a film trip to Japan once, and then I also did 2 Euro tours, and what else? I've been to California like a number of times just for that sort of thing. And yeah, I think that's about it. But I guess I'll go into a bit of detail about those. Like Japan was really cool. We just like scouted a bunch of roads leading up to it, right? And then we went and skated all these mountain passes and filmed a video series for Rain. It was called the Skyline series.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like kind of like a docu style video series, and I think there was 3 or 4 parts. And yeah, it was really cool. Really really fun time. And then I also went to Europe, and that was only for racing. The first time I traveled around with like Mitch Thompson and like Tim White. I hitched a bunch of rides with them, and then I didn't really have a plan the first time I went. I didn't have a car. I didn't really know anybody who was out there.
You just kind of went.
Yeah, I met Mitch at like some races before, and I was like, wow, this guy's really cool. And then he offered to like give me a ride from I just kind of like hung out with them a lot, and they gave me a ride from like Prague to Kozakov challenge. And this is kind of funny. They were going to a different place after that. I think they were going to Vienna, and I needed to go. It was the other way. And then I needed to go to Prague. So on the morning after the race, everybody was like packing up, and it was like raining, and everybody parties after too.
I would imagine.
So that's actually a crazy race, man. There's a bar, like there's a huge party tent. You can buy beers all night. There's bars on the corners and stuff like that. If you're a spectator, it's honestly, if you weren't skating, it would still be like an awesome time to just go there. Or I think they make it a free ride too now. Like there's 4 days before the race.
Oh, that's so sick.
And it's really awesome hill and like a really awesome time. And the town is really fun too. So, but packing up that next morning, I didn't have a plan, right? And everybody's leaving. I'm like, hey, can I get a ride with you guys? Can I get a ride with you guys? And everybody's leaving. There's probably like 5 cars left, right? And then I met these German dudes, and they gave me a ride. But I was like so scared. I was just like, man, I'm going to be stuck out here. I'm going to have to like figure out my own way back to, like, I didn't know how to call like a taxi or anything to get out there. I didn't know if I would be able to call a taxi to like give me a ride from this town, Turnov, to Prague. It's like 150 kilometers away.
It's an expensive taxi.
Yeah, exactly. And it would just be really expensive, right? Like I didn't want to have to do that. Yeah, so these guys gave me a ride, and that was really helped me a lot. And then, but to go into the town there, every year there's like a water park there, and every year everybody from the race would just like go to the water park, and there would be so many dudes from the race just there, and they would kind of like stop listening to all the rules. So there'd be like 50 people going down a water slide at like one time, and people standing up going down water slides and stuff like that. Man, it's such a good time. I remember we'd get like a bunch of people to clog up the slide and then send someone down at the end to like break it all up. And I was so surprised, dangerous. Like you were more likely to get an injury there than at the race. You know what I mean? It was such a good time though.
Were the city people welcoming?
Yeah, they're super nice, man. Like Czechia is like a really awesome place. I would love to go back there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Of all the places you visited, where is the place you'd love to go the most?
Where I'd love to go back to?
Yeah.
I think thinking about it, like, well, that place was really cool. There's a lot of cool places. I'd love to go back to Japan and film again. But just for hanging out, like Norway was really cool. There's a race there that was like really fun. And we went to the top of ski jumps and like Olympic ski jumps and like looked down them at like crazy views and that sort of thing. Lillehammer was the town.
Okay.
Yeah, that place was really cool. And yeah, Prague was awesome. Hungary, Budapest was really cool. We actually lost our car there for like 12 hours. So we were driving all day, like 12-hour drive. And then we got out of the car and we were looking for parking like near our hostel and we couldn't really find it. We had to park like 15 minutes away by push, right? So we parked and then when we got to the hostel, I was like, hey, did anybody pay attention to like where we parked the car? And then Tom, one of the guys I was traveling with, he's just like, man, I don't know, but I think that's going to be a huge problem tomorrow. And then we went out the next day and we were looking like all day for the car. Let the police know like that we were missing our car and stuff like that. And we were just pushing around the city, just searching.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, not awesome, but I mean, like looking
Good
back,
memories.
it's really funny. Yeah.
Damn. That's pretty intense though.
Yeah. So that place was awesome. Hungary was just really cool, man. Like it's just like along a river and then there's a hill on the other side and there's just like all these like really cool buildings, old buildings. Yeah, that place was really cool.
Damn, that's awesome though. This seems like a very like blessed opportunity to have to be able to go and skate.
No, totally.
So I'm rather curious. Is it companies that will be like, hey, there's a race, I'll fly you out, or are you just like saving up money and going because you want to?
Yeah. So with Japan, that was like a film opportunity where they were like, hey, we'll pay for you to go. And then Europe was just something I always really wanted to do, right? And it was kind of like my mom actually helped me out a lot. She owns a business, and with her business, she buys like a lot of supplies. She owns a clothing store.
Okay.
Shout out Quick Nickel. So she would buy all of her supplies on this certain Visa card or MasterCard, whatever.
Like
that gave her a lot of air miles.
Oh, okay.
So she was able to help me with my flights to go over there. And then I just have to save up my money. And I'm living at home, right? So it was super easy to save up money. And then, yeah, I'd fly out, pay for my races, that sort of thing.
That's cool.
So shout out to my mom. That always helped me like a lot.
Big shout out to all the moms out there.
Yeah, seriously.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then, yeah, just... So it's been a bit of a mix of both, you know what I mean? Or if as like a group of friends, we'll like plan something to go somewhere and just like have a good time. Usually that'll be like something more in like the United States or something. Like I've been to California just with friends and that sort of thing.
All right. Have you ever done Maryhill?
I've done Maryhill and I'm doing Maryhill in 2 months.
Oh, no way.
As well, yeah. In April, there's a race there.
Freaking good luck.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Yeah, that's a super fun hill. I really like that hill. It's just like... It's just fun, you know? I don't necessarily go in those huge packs because like anything can kind of happen where you can just get taken out and it's like not even your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like Kevin dying.
I still do it. You don't really have a choice, but I kind of try to avoid them. But there's times where you're just going to end up, you catch up on a big group and you're just in the mix, you know? And that's how I've gotten taken out pretty much every time I'm there. So,
No, it happens.
yeah. Really fun hill though.
Last time I skated OG Day, I got taken out 3 times
Really?
in one day. It
What
was brutal.
happened?
The first time someone skated into me from behind because I was taking a turn slow, and I'm usually at the back of the pack because I don't want to like rush down things.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty anxious skater as well, so I just want to feel comfortable and not have like people pushing me faster than I feel comfortable going.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the other time I was skating too fast and there was someone going slow, so I foot braked, lost control and fell. And then the time after, I skated too close next to someone, our wheels locked, and then I fell. So 3 times because of other people, I just fell.
Wow.
But I mean, it happens.
That always happens. Yeah. It's never fun
out.
when that happens, right? That's, yeah. Even when I'm like, when I go out to skate a lot, I'll often go at the back and just like qualifying run myself. Like I'll try hard, but I'll just be like racing myself because I don't want to like have someone like trying to race me or anything like on an open road. Do you know what I mean? That's just like such a recipe for disaster. So it's not that I'm like necessarily like chilling super hard, but I'll race myself sometimes.
Yeah. One thing I am curious about racing is do you have any finishes or races that you're super proud of, or like memories that are like, yeah, I did really well that time?
Yeah, I guess like mostly, I guess I got 4th at Danger Bay this year. I've never won like a super important race or anything, but I've had like some podiums. Like I got 2nd at this race called King in the North in Denmark. That was a really cool hill actually. Reminds me a lot of West Hill.
Okay.
West Hill. And BPs, and then that was a really cool race, and mostly just like outlaws. Like I haven't necessarily, well, I guess I have been to a lot of races. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done that well, but I mean, I don't know.
It's part of the experience. I feel like
exactly.
Not everyone gets to win. It's that's how it goes. But I mean,
exactly.
you've done pretty well for yourself. I feel like Danger Bay competition is pretty heaty.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I was pretty happy that day.
Cool.
I thought I could have done better, man. I thought I could have
always do better.
I thought I could have got 2nd place. I don't know. I don't know if I could catch Dane on that hill. He's just unbelievably fast there.
Dane is pretty damn good.
He gaps everybody. Like even in finals. Yeah, he's so fast. The only chance I feel like I would have to beat him on that hill is if he just crashed, which is possible. The pavement's pretty rough, but
it's a bit chundery.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, beating Dane seems like a hard task.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any favorite Giants heads or favorite Giants head memories?
Favorite Giants head memories. I wouldn't say like I have like a favorite one. They're all just such a good time. The campground is always awesome. You see people you haven't seen in like a year or months, and it's just such a good time. I think that Giants Head, that's like probably my favorite event out of all of these that I've been to. That or like Transylvania downhill, Straja in Romania. That had like a ski lift up it, and it was like
Transylvania seems insane. Well, it goes so fast down there. Right?
Well, there's Transylvania Vulcan, and then there's Transylvania Straja. So Straja is 90K, and then the other one's 120. But they both have like a ski lift where you can go up and you're like watching people skate down the hill and stuff.
I mean, either way, 90 or 120 is really fast on a skateboard. Yeah, 90 is
pretty fast. Yeah. But that hill was like super good. It's like, I think it's like 12 kilometers too.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's all sorts of different turns. There's such a variety.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And Giants Head, honestly, I think is just one of the best free ride hills. You can hold out your slides all the way around the corners, and it's just such a good time. I love that event.
It seems really awesome.
Yeah.
I always hear about the notorious chip year. It seems like a lot of shit went down.
The chip year. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that was a crazy year. There were a lot of people like eating dirt, or I guess the one-legged man fight between Aaron Thomas and Austin Padroni. I think he won the one-legged man. Yeah, and Austin Padroni was just naked, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was super funny. That was a crazy year.
What's the craziest thing you did for chips?
I don't know. I kind of just gave up on the chips.
That's fair.
It was. I knew that someone was going to be crazier than me about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, yeah, I don't think I did anything that crazy. And in the end, it ended up being people just like pooling their chips together to like give to people.
Yeah, because they wanted a winner.
So it didn't even matter. They just wanted one of their friends in the group to like sort of win. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of happy that I didn't eat dirt or anything like that. I
believe it.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Damn, well, it's crazy. I only have one question left.
Okay.
But we've been rolling for about an hour and 20 minutes. So that's not too bad. I'm curious, what would you say to some newer skateboarder, or just someone that's looking to like do something they're interested in?
Newer skateboarder. I don't know, just start off small, Watch a lot of videos, find some tricks that you think are cool, slides that you think are cool. Watch a lot of videos and kind of like figure out what you want to do, and then try it like on a flat hill, and then just do it really incrementally. Don't hurt yourself, and also try to find some friends who are into it. Because I think that's like what most of it is, right? Is finding your friends and like just having a good time, seshing a hill as a grom. Those are the best days, yeah, just start incrementally and don't push yourself too hard. But if you're feeling confident, then go for it.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's a great answer. Start slow, build yourself up, find some friends to do the things you enjoy doing with, and it's a good recipe for success and enjoyment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's very incremental.
Totally. Well, you know what? Thank you so much. I have a little thanks I like to say to the people that have helped me. So today I would love to say thank you to you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming over. I really appreciate it. It's awesome we could do this.
Yeah.
I also want to say thank you to my friends that have helped me. Big thank you to Noah Gardner, the reason I have editing software at all.
Cool.
You've saved me. I want to say thank you to my friend Eldritch, for which I have a logo and the banner and like some sort of brand to show myself with. I want to say thank you to my friend Sam Mitchell, who made my theme music. It's crazy. I want to say thank you to Reiner as well. Big thank you for all this help. It's the reason I have fancy lighting and a backdrop and kind of know what I'm doing somehow. And I want to say thank you to my dad who helped me get some of this equipment. And I want to say a special thank you. I would love to get a round of applause for this one for my mother, who's my only sponsor. Mom! Let's go, Mom. Thank you. You're great. She bought these cushions.
Executive producers of the show.
the real ones. So thank you all. I really appreciate all the help. And that's a wrap.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Boom.
That was awesome.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I would love to grab your skateboard, try and get some of that footage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's do that.
Sweet. Well,
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Have a beautiful time.
I'm also nursing an injury right now.
Oh, really?